I'm Ashley Beckford, reporting for Infowars.com. Since equality is a major social justice issue right now, I want to debunk the idea that total equality is actually what humanity needs. What humanity really desires is actually self-determination, which is free will. I want to bring to you a short story written by Kurt Vonnegut in 1961. I'd like to thank my English teacher in 8th grade, Mrs. Berry, because she gave me the idea for this story. It's widely available online right now. But the story is a satirical, dystopic science fiction representation of what society would look like if total egalitarianism actually existed. This story was even cited by the late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia in his dissent for the case of PGA Tour versus Martin. You can look it up, but he says Animal Farm determination that fairness and the ADA mean that everyone gets to play by individual rules, which will assure that no one's lack of ability will be a handicap. This story bears resemblance to other dystopic films and books such as 1984, The Matrix, and this is a situation where self-determination has actually been eliminated, and now the state decides how and if people will live. I'm going to read the first few paragraphs of Kurt Vonnegut's work so you can get a sense of the type of society that he's profiling in this story. Harrison Bergeron by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. The year was 2081 and everyone was finally equal. There weren't only equal before God and the law, they were equal in every which way. No one was smarter than anybody else. No one was better looking than anybody else. No one was stronger or quicker than anybody else. All of this equality was due to the 211th, 212th, and 213th Amendments to the Constitution, and to the unceasing vigilance of agents of the United States Handicapper General. It was tragic, all right, but George and Hazel couldn't think about it very hard. Hazel had perfectly average intelligence, which meant she couldn't think about anything except in short bursts. And George, while his intelligence was way above normal, had a mental handicap radio in his ear. He was required by law to wear it at all times. It was tuned to a government transmitter. Every 20 seconds or so, the transmitter would send out some sharp noise to keep people like George from taking unfair advantage of their brains. Harrison Bergeron was also made into a film in 1995. Let's take a look at a clip from the film so that we can see what that was all about.
Garth Bergeron, B-. I think you had a B+ on the last geography test, didn't you?
Yes, Miss Hopkins.
Well, this is quite an improvement.
Thank you.
Morris Wilkerson, C-. Good work, Morris. Geraldine Hoberman, C. Congratulations, Geraldine. Harrison Bergeron, A+.
Uh-oh.
So the film and the novel, or the short story, actually differ in some ways, but that's how essentially Harrison Bergeron starts out. Because this guy is a 7-foot-tall athlete and he has genius intelligence, 14-year-old Harrison is taken away from his parents, George and Hazel, so that he can be indoctrinated by the state and handicapped as well. Remember that children are being taken away from their parents in this story, because I'm also going to talk about how that's happening right now in China. China is the leading totalitarian state in the world. People are routinely tortured in China. Citizens in this story are also constantly tortured by the government through various means, including being weighed down by sandbags, wearing glasses that blur vision, and wearing headsets that blast out sharp noises, all due to state-mandated requirements to equalize people. They are dumbed down, just like Charlotte Iserbyt described in The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America, through the educational system and through television, the true opiate of the masses. Beautiful people must be disfigured or forced to wear hideous masks. Each person is forced to subjugate their special attributes to the will of the state. We know that the destruction of pure beauty and goodness is a hallmark of authoritarian regimes, and this story aptly depicts a situation where you have an entire society of mass Stockholm Syndrome victims, worse than currently North Korea is. The government destroys the free market because, like J.D. Rockefeller said, competition is a sin. It's a socialist communist system run by bloodthirsty sociopaths. Aristotle once said that art imitates life, but in this case, the headlines indicate that life imitates art. This reminds me of China. I wonder how such an undemocratic socialist, communist, whatever you want to call it, country who does not value individuality could be doing so well at the Olympics. This is an article from May 2016 that describes how they actually do it, how they actually achieve this. Headline, has China gone far enough to get rid of child cruelty in Olympics training? In the past, the tears in this child's eyes could have been symbolic of a state system that has pushed its children too far in pursuit of Olympic glory. Since the 1980s, China has been dogged by allegations of child cruelty in its sporting system, with stories of supposed beatings and grueling training regimes not uncommon. Going back to Vonnegut's story, everyone must be, quote, equal in all ways. Anyone who's perceived to be above average is diminished so that they don't make others feel bad for having special attributes. In China, it's actually the opposite. When children are found to have special attributes or special talent, you're actually taken away from your parents and sent to a state-sponsored special school. They're sent there and they're tortured, basically, and pushed to the limits to achieve Olympic glory. The point is actually to raise children for a specific state-mandated purpose, rather than the purpose of having a meaningful life where you take care of your family and just enjoy life.
The question is, do we all work for central bankers?
They claim to be reforming their style. So let's watch a video from this year explaining what these children in these Chinese state-sponsored sports schools actually have to go through.
你没有水，没有跳水池，没有台，我们就搞不起来。预备起！1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。
你是喜欢去公园玩，还是喜欢训练呀？那更喜欢哪一个呢？
我更喜欢去花园玩。干嘛说这些呀？能不能先说一些训练的事情？
So it's sad that these children are actually afraid to even mention that they actually want to be outside playing rather than doing this endless training. And this is part of the totalitarian regime where they want these children to maintain a singular focus. So what's causing them to have this singular focus? Well, I think it's similar to The Matrix, Brave New World in 1984, where there's this similar theme of television numbing people's minds. In Vonnegut's story, it's a virtue signaling tool controlled by the thought police to cause people to self-censor, like these children did. When you read the story Harrison Bergeron, you'll learn that the protagonist represents the individual's defiance against the state.
One man.
Anytime I listen to great music or watch a great film, I realize that our society will never produce any more of them.
Is going to change the world.
There's a young rebel who has taken over the television master control room.
We're starting the third American Revolution. I'm going to have a little chat with the whole country.
He's going to show them the one thing they've been missing.
You haven't made everybody equal. You've made them the same, and there's a big difference.
He's showing them how to have fun.
Harrison represents the alpha male archetype who questions authority and who has an urge to succeed. He's like a Matt Drudge or an Alex Jones who disseminates information and also aggregates information so that the citizenry is informed.
I'm not going to wait around and watch my family die around me.
The moral of the story is that progressivism is like a cancer. It's malignant. And when state-sponsored programs promote egalitarianism, unethical and tyrannical results could be the outcome. We shouldn't want totalitarian equality. What we need is equality of opportunity, self-determination, and individual sovereignty. We can't alter the Constitution beyond recognition, as it was in this story, without losing credibility as well as liberty. Harrison Bergeron by Kurt Vonnegut is effectively Hillary's America. She wants total control. I'm definitely not with her. This is Ashley Beckford for Infowars.com. Stay tuned for more special reports.